So as we enter into our practice today, lengthen the crown of the head towards the sky. Move the sit bones down to the earth. Soften the face, the outer edges of your tongue, the space between your eyes. And as you inhale, visualize that you're taking your inhale all the way up through the base of your spine. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling through the nose, pressing that air out the top of your head, out the crown of your head. And follow this rhythm of breath, this inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. Drawing the breath up from the base of the spine, the base of the pelvis, all the way up. And as you exhale, pressing that air out the top of the head. Coming to the present moment. And with the eyes closed, visualize yourself in this shape, your body in this shape. Utilizing the breath to link the mind and the body together, to weave them together. And now press the palms of your hands together at your heart in prayer position. Taking this moment to set an intention for your practice. This intention brings meaning to the breath, to the movement, and to the space in between. And now, as you flutter your eyes open, inhale your fingertips all the way up towards the sky. Fluttering the eyes open, and now palms come down in front of your heart. Folding forward over your legs. Taking this moment to reaffirm your intention. And now with a deep, deep inhale, inhale the fingertips up towards the sky, coming out of your forward fold. Release the arms down by your sides. Roll forward and come into table pose. So here in table pose, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulders in line, the pelvis hinged above the hips, above the knees. Now tuck the toes and press back into downward facing dog. So from down dog, the heels root down towards the floor. The shoulders roll away from one another, ears between the biceps. Soften into the breath here. Soften into the stillness of the moment. And now bending one knee and then the other, walking the dog, and allowing this movement to be organic to you. So listening to your body, settling in onto your mat in this shape. And now coming back into stillness, walk the hands back to the feet. The hands can be flat, you can be on the tips of the fingers. And now sink down into that forward fold and let the head hang. So drop the thoughts right out the top of the head. It's the focus, your intention in this practice. And now inhale halfway up, hands to the knees. Flat back, gaze is somewhere out in front of you on your yoga mat. Good, navel drops back towards the spine, lifts back towards the spine. And now fold again, all the way down, softening. Release all the air from your body. And on your inhale, rise up, upward facing salute. Palms come together up above your head as you rise. And now turn the palms towards the front of your mat and fold, exhale, all the way down. Perfect. And walk the hands forward. Again, the hands could be palms of the hands, tips of the fingers. Make your way back into downward facing dog. And we'll roll forward into plank pose, top of a push-up. So the low ribs and the hip points move toward one another as you squeeze the core, firing up the core body, the belly, your power center. And now hinge back, downward facing dog. Stepping to the front of the mat, as many steps as it takes. And rise up, upward facing salute. Palms touch right above the head. And fold. Exhale all the way down. And now step back to plank pose. Top of a push-up, one step at a time. Elbows move directly back towards the back of your mat and hug in towards your body, chaturanga. And with the strength of your arms and strength of your glutes, press into upward facing dog. Gaze up towards the sky. Good. Reach back through the heels so you feel this igniting in the body. And now press back downward facing dog like a hinge. Extend the right leg back behind you. And draw that right foot forward in between the thumbs, rounding the back up towards the sky so you can arrive in high lunge. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Crescent pose. Ignite that back leg. Reach the thumbs back towards the back of the room. And now open up into warrior two. Reach the right fingertips forward, the left fingertips back. The outer edge of the back foot resting into the mat. The knee and the ankle in line with the front leg. And now reach forward with that right hand. Reach forward, 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 and sweep it back, all the way back, pointing towards the back of the room. Reverse warrior two. Feeling the opening on the side body, drawing the navel back towards the spine. And now windmill the arms back down. So the right hand now points down towards the floor. Lengthen through the front knee. Triangle pose. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades together in the back body. Leave the legs just as they are and windmill the arms back into reverse triangle. Gaze is now again at the ceiling. You feel the side body opening, rooting the toes into the floor. And now windmill the arms all the way back down, bending in the front knee. Intense side angle. Gaze is skyward. Gently squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring the hands down to the floor. High lunge, pivot that back foot. Take the front foot back into plank pose. So again, the top of a push-up, plank pose. Hugging the low ribs and the hip points together. Drawing the navel back towards the spine. Drop all the way down to your mat. Untuck the toes, tops of the feet press into the mat. Fingertips press into the mat as you roll the elbows toward one another. Inhale into baby cobra. Squeezing the glutes. Pulling the muscle to the bone. And go ahead, sink back down. Palms of the hands rest on the mat. Take the knees wider and tuck the toes. With the strength of the arms and the strength of the glutes, press yourself up and back into child's pose. Arms lengthen, knees drop, sink back. Take a breath here, inhaling, exhaling through the nose. Tuck the toes. Press the palms of the hands into the mat. Lift the butt just a little bit, and now press back, downward facing dog. Extend the left leg back behind you. As the left foot rises up, now reach it forward. Sole of the foot placed right in between the thumbs. Reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Rise up, crescent pose. Gaze is skyward. So for a moment, come up and out of your pose. Reach for the ceiling, and now sink all the way back down. to that place that's comfortable, the knee, the ankle in line with one another, the hip crease is deep. And now open up into warrior two. Left fingertips reach for the front of the room, right for the back. Outer edge of the back foot rests into the mat. Those back toes turn in just a little bit. Take a breath here. Reach that front hand forward, scooping it back, reverse warrior two. Side body opens. Lower hand reaching for the floor, actively. Feeling the energy, the effort in both arms, both legs. Draw the navel back towards the spine. And now windmill the arms back down, left hand down towards the floor. Now lengthen through the front knee, triangle pose. Squeezing the shoulders and the back body. Now windmill the arms, now reverse triangle, just like before. Reaching down towards the floor and up towards the sky. Continuing that mindful breathing, returning to your intention for your practice. When kneeling down into intense side angle pose, that front knee bends, gazes up towards the ceiling. Hands come down to the floor. Bring yourself into high lunge. And this time step back to plank and stay there. Snuggling the belly button back towards the spine. And we'll come down into chaturanga, hovering for a moment. Elbows move directly back. Now lift the butt a little higher into the sky. Yes, and with the power of the glutes, press the hip points down towards the floor and gaze up towards the ceiling. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of mindful breaths here. Regrounding yourself. Closing the eyes. Visualizing yourself in this shape. As you lengthen the legs, strengthen the legs. Lengthen the arms and strengthen the arms. And now drop the knees down to the floor, wide. Untuck the toes and find child's pose. Softening the body, softening the mind. Now again, tuck the toes. Press back into downward facing dog. Press the palms of the hands into the mat. Activate those arms, yes. Extend the right leg back behind you and place the right leg in between your thumbs, the top of your mat. From here, take the gaze down to the floor somewhere in front of you. And pop the back foot off of the floor. So lean forward and step the back foot off the floor, as many steps as it takes. This is a modification of standing splits. And as we move now into half moon, find yourself, square your hips with one another, stack the hips, and slowly begin to lift that left arm up off of the floor, hand to hip, fingertips to sky. Lifting that back leg, using the glutes. Standing on the back wall, toes turning towards the shin. Now bring yourself into a forward fold at the front of your mat. Hand comes down, foot comes down, stepping, releasing completely. Step the right foot back into high lunge. Build this high lunge, find your power center, your core body. Take your hands forward a little bit and take as many steps as it takes to bring that back foot off of the First, this modification of standing splits, finding your gaze point, and slowly beginning to make that transition to half moon. Left hand presses down into the mat, right hand to the right hip. Squaring the hips, stacking them. Lift that back leg. And when you're ready, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. Another full breath, inhaling, exhaling, utilizing the breath to help with the balance. And now bring yourself into a forward fold at the front of the mat. Let the head go. Returning to your intention for your practice. And stepping back into downward facing dog. Lengthen the spine. Dropping the knees and coming down to a seated position. Take this moment, closing the eyes, press the palms of the hands together. The practice settling down into your body, your mind. Inhaling and exhaling through the nostrils. Drawing that breath all the way up from the very base of your spine, the base of your pelvis. And as you exhale, press that breath out the top of the head. And now slowly make your way to a fully reclined position. Lying flat, face is soft. Turn the palms of the hands towards the sky. Let the feet splay away from one another and soften. And now draw the knees into the chest. Eyes are still closed. Open the arms out into T position and drop both knees to the right. And both knees to the left. Drawing the knees in now, again to your chest, hugging them in. And now releasing the legs, fully reclining into Shavasana. We'll take a couple of moments here to relax, to allow the practice to wash over us, to root itself into our body. Giving yourself permission to relax a little bit more, to soften a little bit more. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Take a full body stretch, reaching the arms up and overhead, pointing the toes towards the front of the mat. Now, as you're ready, rolling over onto your right side and pressing up into seated. Eyes closed, palms together at your heart. Returning again to your intention. Taking this intention that you have chosen for your practice out into the rest of your day, the rest of your life. Thank you.